There you go. Wonderful. Thank you for that reminder, sir. Right. So my name is Ponni, and I work as an MYP design facilitator in One World International School. I also play the role of the ATL coordinator. I started my career as an IB PYP educator, and I moved on to MYP. I also handled a bit of the tech coordinator role for my school. I have an experience of almost 7 years in IB. This is my 8th year. So I love being a tech integrationist. I love playing with technology. I love helping teachers use technology in their classrooms to enhance the lessons. So today we are going to look at artificial intelligence first in general, because many of us just look at artificial intelligence as just a single entity, right? But to be when you look at it with a microscopic view, we can say that right now we are in the era of artificial narrow intelligence, which means the intelligence can do a prescribed task in a certain way. So you program it to do something, it'll do that efficiently, as good as a human being would do. In fact, more in a more precise way, in a more accurate way. So let's take Chat GPT, for example. All that will come under narrow intelligence because it can do only one job of getting information and presenting it to the humans. But when we go to the year 2040 or 2050, the scientists are looking at developing something called as artificial general intelligence, where the AI itself can do multiple tasks, like probably drive a car for us or book appointments for us or also give information for us. So it's going to multitask everything in the most efficient way possible. And the last or the most advanced form of the evolution would be.
I think the only thing is not, sir, ये तो payment का दिखा दो एक because सागर is not, मैं आपको बहुत clearly बताऊँ, सागर कहता है कि अभी कर दो nobody will give us frankly any blue नहीं है कुछ कुछ करेगा नहीं because ये पहले काटा पहले payment हमसे नहीं होती है even if we say that कि अभी भी नहीं हुई है किसने करनी है
Oh, sorry, sir. Your voice is breaking. I'm not able to really understand what you're saying, but I hope it's related to the discussion we are having here. So sorry. Yeah. So yes, I mean, could you repeat that point and one more time, please? I'm very sorry. I missed. Okay. Right. So super intelligence is something where the machine develops consciousness on par with a human being, and it can come sometimes be a threat to humankind. And this is just a wishful thinking or a scary thought that might happen in the future. So right now we are in the era of artificial narrow intelligence, where the machines are really trying to cope with the information we are feeding them, and they're trying to make decisions for us, right? Um, Now, moving on to the education scenario, like whenever we talk about technology evolution, everybody talks about what has happened in the era of wars or defense. They talk about how technology was used to crack codes in crypto analysis and cryptography, or they would talk about how it was used in surveillance, especially in the 1940s, 50s era. But what was happening in education during this time? Was there a real innovation happening? If we look back at the past, two main developments really made a difference in education. There was something called as teaching machines. I don't know if you have read about it, which was devised by two eminent thinkers and philosophers in those times to ensure that in classroom, the child is able to do a self-paced learning. The teacher is able to save a lot of time and assign responsibilities and tasks to students so that they are independent in their own learning. Now, if you look at this picture, the person that you see on the picture, his name is Dr. Sidney Pressey, and he's one of the most renowned philosophers in the Ohio State University. And this was the first machine that he developed. I'm going to share all of these resources by the end of my session, no worries. So the machine that you see over here, it consists of these dials with paper strips, right? So basically, he devised a machine that can do a multiple choice quiz based assessment for the students. So the students would be able to see 4 options and the question displayed, and they would pick one option. Until they get the right answer, the machine would keep repeating the same question. So this is a kind of a reinforcement learning. And if they get the right answer in very few attempts, then they would get a reward. So there is a candy dispenser somewhere attached in the machine which would, dispatch a reward for them. So the idea behind this mission is to ensure that the teacher's work is reduced, manual task is reduced a little bit. The children can learn in their own pace and also learn from their mistakes, right? With practice, they get the concepts being reinforced. But then another person came into the picture, Dr. B.F. Skinner. He felt that multiple choice questions won't do, right? Because he wanted children to also learn based on descriptive assessment. So he devised another teaching mission where the children can write their answers, place it on the submission board, and then get to see the correct answers and compare their answer with the correct answer. So this is not only for multiple choice questions, it's also for descriptive questions. So all these inventions pretty much tells us that everybody strived to create a machine that could break different units into small testable units. Like we can create modular assessments here and there. And an immediate feedback is necessary. Sometimes we as teachers have so many things to do that we cannot give an immediate feedback or a comment or a suggestion on the assessments that students are submitting. So they all wanted to have an immediate response mechanism here, and also to have the students to move at their own pace and learn about the missions. And finally, all this is possible if there is the element of automation to all the technology that's being found. So this was the base idea of how this automation came into the picture of education. I request all teachers to kindly mute your respective microphones. I suggest all of you to try, if possible, to read this book by Ms. Audrey Waters. She has done a thorough analysis on how technology and the edtech situation itself took form in the earlier days. So please do see if you can get your hands on this book and do read about it. This will greatly help you understand that it has sown seeds of the AI that we are seeing today. Now, before we go further into the session, I want to do a small hands-on with all of you. Still, a lot of participants are joining us. As they join, I'd like you to pick up your mobile phones or on your desktop itself. Teachers, kindly mute your microphones. If you could go to this site, feedbo.com, or you can scan this QR code that you see on the screen. Kindly go to the site and give the code that you see on the screen. You will be asked to answer a question. The question is, which educational area among the four options given here, according to you, you think you would feel or would gain the most from the AI's potential? I know it's very difficult to choose one option here, but if you could just prioritize the topmost as per your view and perspective. Okay, we see one vote happening for more engaging and interactive learning experience. Yes, that's the start of everything. Okay, improving teacher efficiency and time management. Yes, it would really help us focus on other important things. It's going to definitely change the landscape of how we manage things. If you could quickly vote, we'll have a couple more questions after this. Personalized learning for students. Yeah, a personalized tutor is something that's getting marketed a lot these days. Of course, they say it's not going to replace our teachers, but it would greatly, uh, support the students who need extra care and extra help. Deeper data analysis and insight for student progress, and that comes at the end. Interesting. So a lot of us, it looks like we are all mostly focusing on the personalized learning experience for the students. I'm just going to hold on to this for one more minute. Then we'll move on to the next question. Great. Right, and it's pretty very clear, because even if you look at how the AI is being developed in EdTech, more focus is given on personalized learning, because that is the crux, right? Because that's where we want the learners to be beneficial. More than us getting benefited by AI, we want the learners to get benefited, which is why we put the personalized learning, and we always follow a learner-centered approach. So it's not a surprise to see more votes getting accumulated there. Wonderful. I'm going to move on to my next question now. So this is going to be a ranking question. I want you to rank. If you're not able to see the next question, kindly refresh your screen. You should be able to see it. So I'm going to ask you to rank what worries you the most regarding the utilization of AI in education. I know we all have a lot of worries, but which one is the most worrying thing? So you need to rank it in the order of 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are talking about AI replacing teachers, reducing the human interaction, or is that? Sorry, ma'am. As there, what about the bias and discrimination? That's happening a lot, right? Like we can't just blindly trust what the AI gives us. And what about the data privacy and security risks that are underlying in AI? And the lack of teacher training and support. That's very important because most of us really need a lot of help in terms of how to really harness this powerful technology that's given to us. And it's free, it's open, everybody can use it. And it can be used in good or bad ways. So how is that going to help? I hope you're all able to rank it. Okay, wonderful. So the main problem that I see over here is the lack of teacher training and support. Yes, something that worries me equally. Data privacy and security risks. Exactly, right? Like the AI literally learns from what we feed it. It doesn't get information from elsewhere. So it's going to monitor every single thing we do, our behavior, the time we take to respond, our facial expressions in some cases, the kind of responses we submit. It's learning constantly from what we feed it, right? So where is the data privacy over there? So the least concern I could see is replacing teachers or reducing human interaction, and that's a brilliant confidence, and that's exactly what we should, how it should be. There's this article that Mr. Bill Gates wrote on his site, Gates Notes. He talks about how AI is going to shape the future, and it's not going to go anywhere. And he tells very clearly that when you bring mechanization to classroom, it's being brought for a very long time. We've had broadcasting techniques, radios, televisions, everything feeding educational content, but never once has it disrupted the teacher student relationship, and we should not be worrying about it even now. It's only going to strengthen it, and nobody can replace that relationship we have with students. And this poll is pretty much showing that picture to me. Now, one last poll for you. I'm just going to move on to my next question, which is, if you could design an ideal AI tool for your classroom or for your subject, what would it do? Just very crisp, in 2 or 3 words. An ideal AI tool which you think is not really existing, because there are a lot of tools that are cropping up everywhere, and we are trying to, try our hands on everything. But what would you design? It's a very interesting question. I'm just going to leave it like this, so you take your time and answer. Quickly going back to my presentation now. Right. So as an IB teacher, I wanted to really look at how IB feels about all of this, right? I wanted to see what they really think about this huge development. And I loved one particular word that they used when they talked about AI, which is the prompt engineering. Can any one educator here kindly unmute your mic, because I feel like I'm talking for a very long time. If you could just talk about prompt engineering, what do you think it is based on the words that I have added on the screen? Anybody?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Am
Hi.
I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go on.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Surekha Katare from Hyderabad.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
prompt engineering is about asking the right question, like how in IB we, I mean, what we want from this automated
Yeah.
intelligence. We just try to give in
Yeah.
a proper way.
Yeah.
If we wanted to give effective answers for our questions, we should ask right first. I mean, should
Yeah.
prompt it first properly.
Exactly. Absolutely. Wonderfully put. True. Like if the question itself is not clear, what is the point of? Thank you so much for that great answer.
Thank you.
Yes, so we all try to help children form those questions properly, right? Like when Google search happened, I never knew that there was an intelligent way of doing Google search. We used special characters, we used double quotes, we used keyword search. So all that happened um, only after using the tool a lot. And IB definitely focuses on using the prompt engineering. As teachers, we should help the students frame the right kind of prompts. And this happens through an assisted inquiry. Like you try to ask the same question in different ways. Check, teachers kindly mute your microphones.
Let me get the thing. It's an earphone.
Yeah. So after a few attempts, the AI would give the right answer that you're looking for, because the only challenge in AI is it's missing the context. Like in what context are you asking the question, the AI doesn't know. So we need to fine tune the children to give the right kind of prompt so that they get the answer that they want. And effective questioning also happens with it. And of course, vetting information. After getting the information, am I going to directly copy paste it on my essay or in my project work or in my portfolio? No, I need to know how to check if the information is right or wrong. Because a lot of AI tools, they have a disclaimer these days saying that this is generated by AI, it cannot be accurate. So we need to tell the students to look at that part of the statement and be aware, and also build on the information that they get. What they are getting is just the first draft. They need to work on it. They need to build on the scaffold and then construct a logical explanation, right? So these are the three main things we need to remember when we implement AI in our classrooms. And of course, yes, sir. Mr. Lakshmikant, yeah. You raised your hand, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
In fact, there is a particular logic which says conversational logic. Of course,
Yeah.
it's quite a complex thing to implement.
Yeah.
But still, we can see those something like Alexa and the latest robot, which full of expressions. I think that implement, it's quite a complex thing. I just wanted to put in this information in addition to the thing what we are discussing about prompt engineering.
Definitely.
I think the next stage would be that conversational logic, which is quite complex to understand. A lot of complicated algorithms are impacted.
Absolutely. Like you said, I think they're trying to bring in that human element to it. It needs to be like a human talking to another human, not a machine conversing, right? Absolutely. So everything, as a design teacher, you know better that we all focus on developing something human centered, right? That is our priority. And it's very interesting to see even the AI scientists focusing on doing that. Thank you for that insightful thought. So yes, using this generative AI in education as teachers, it's always good that we look at it in these four angles. One is we need to identify the desired outcomes. Why are we even using it in our subject? Is it because it's a fancy tool? Is it because it's being celebrated by the teachers community? Or is it because I really want to enhance the lessons and it should do some good work in the class and help my students? You need to definitely identify your outcomes before you pick a tool. And also determine the appropriate level of automation. The balance between the human machine interaction is very, very important over here. You can't completely automate everything and leave it to the hand of the machines. There is definitely a teacher intervention needed everywhere. And ensure the ethical consideration. How much of the data are you sharing to the machine? And evaluate its effectiveness. Use it only if it really helps your subject 100%. Otherwise, the tool is not for you, right? Just like how you use any technology. And today, we are going to look at this AI in education in three lenses. One is the adaptive learning part. Like, how is it helping the students to adaptively learn, right? How is it measuring where the students are going wrong, where they are going right, where an intervention is required, where reinforcement is required? What are the... Kindly mute your microphone, teachers. Thank you. Where the AI needs to step in, or where extra practice is needed, right? Or what is the future like? What can the student opt for in the future based on his performance? And grade assistance, like for us teachers, we have to give comments, individual, tailor-made, customized comments for our students. How is AI going to help us there? A lot of personalized learning, like you all said. How are we going to personalize it for our learners? So I'm not going to go very much deep into this diagram. I'm going to leave it on the PPT. You can check this later. But I like the way how they have formed this Venn diagram and say, AI will be able to transform education if these three key factors are there. One is having the awareness. Both the teachers, the parents, the school community, the stakeholders, the students, everybody should have an awareness. And then properly integrating it in your lessons, authentic integration. And finally, collaboration between you and the AI, how balanced that is. And when, as a teacher, will I feel confident and be prepared to use AI in my school? Obviously, I need to see a lot of practical examples and case studies. I have posted a lot of resources, which I'll be sharing later. Do take a look at all the materials that is on the IB site. They have also posted a lot of case studies, and they have created a lot of activities that can be conducted in the classroom to introduce AI to students. Of course, by attending webinars and workshops like this, because I can only give one perspective. As a design teacher, I can share the tools that I used in my classroom, but when another educator comes into the picture, you get a different view of it. And also have a tech team in your school who is trained and equipped enough to understand AI in education, so they can help you when you need the necessary support, like what AI sites can be blacklisted, what can be whitelisted, what can be used, and a clear and comprehensive policy. If you look at the IB academic integrity policy, they have added a new appendix for the AI, use of AI. And they've clearly told that IB is not going to ban AI because that's going to be like a resistance against innovation. We want children to responsibly use the tool. And we want them to know that they should identify the different areas of where they can extract information from AI, and of course give citations. If it is an AI generated content, they should definitely provide an in-text citation and say that this is a AI generated content and I have paraphrased it or I have built on it. So I have a question now. If you could, I don't know, the text is a little small, but I hope it's visible. Could you kindly peruse the information given on the left and right and tell me which is AI generated and which is a student submission? Anybody? There is a question called, will AI make knowledge relevant? Can you tell me which is the student's response and which is the AI response? Anyone?
Right one is student generated, I mean student
Yeah, right
created,
one.
and left one is
Yeah. Yeah, even I
AI
agree.
generated.
No.
Okay.
Tamizh, I feel that
I think
the right one, because it says in summary, AI will not make knowledge. That whenever you do in ChatGPT gives you in summary.
Exactly.
In summary, correct.
Even
Yeah,
I
correct.
really thank you so much for that response. I mean, all of us, even I felt that, okay, the left one looks like an AI generated, but the right one is a very human centric language. But when I found the word in summary, that's when I understood, no, the students won't write that. So you as teachers know your student better than anyone else in the world. So as educators, so I think the teachers, IB also suggests that the teachers should take a second look at vetting through the information that the student is submitting and ensure that they identify which is AI generated, because it's a very slippery slope that we are treading. So always take a second look, always ensure that you are able to identify student work as opposed to AI work. And also IB is looking at using AI tools in grading, where, when as educators, we assess a student work and give scores, there is a human error, it's all prone to human error. So they are trying to bring in the AI tool to take a second look at things and see if the human errors are not overlooked. So maybe in those cases, AI can be useful, but definitely not in the direct assessment of student work is how they feel. So thank you for that. And promoting the ethical use of AI in school. One is, we have to definitely advocate for transparency and awareness. We have to first tell the students how AI works. The full mechanism behind how AI works is how they'll understand, okay, this is how it functions. This is how I should be responsible enough while I use those tools. And reporting any potential bias or discrimination. Like, for instance, you can give a lot of activities in class and ask students to get information from the AI for the same question and see how the answers are differing. Maybe the students, especially the TOK subject teachers can do this, and IB also has given a lot of engagements for the same. They can come up with knowledge questions and talk about how AI is able to gather the information. Why is AI thinking like this? Where is AI getting this information? Is AI trying to influence our thoughts? Is it changing our perspective? All these discussions can happen in the class, and that's when they'll understand what kind of a technology they're using. And also critically evaluate each and every tool, and also there's always a good side and bad side to it. So discuss both sides of it, and then encourage your children to use it as well. Now, this is one template that IB has suggested. Whatever kind of citation type you use in your school, you ensure that if it is going to be an AI generated content, the students definitely have to use this template and give the prompt that they have used along with the date the response was generated. So this is present in the official IB site. I've also given the link for it. By the end, you can check it out. So they have kind of equipped us to a certain extent in terms of how to use it. Now I'm going to quickly move on to the tools that I have personally used in my classrooms. I don't know if I'll be able to cover everything in the session, but I'll quickly go through it. Later, when you're free, you can explore this. I've given the names of the tools. So quizzes, many of you are using in the classroom. It comes with an AI integration. So as a design teacher, I have to generate a lot of questions that are scenario-based, situation-based, right? So I give a simple question, and using the AI, I can kind of convert it into a scenario-based question. It's not 100% accurate, but it is doing its job, well, at least to 70-80%, I can say it has helped me in my class. Then DIFIT is one tool where you can quickly generate worksheets. For instance, I'm teaching automation to my grade 7 students. I wanted to have a quick reading material generated. So I just added a few keywords and few important sentences related to home automation, and it developed a reading passage, reading comprehension activity, glossary, like you say, multiple choice, short answer, open-ended prompts. All of this got generated in a minute. You can also generate it in other languages and differentiate it as per your need, and you can customize it. So this is kind of saving a lot of my time, in terms of creating materials. Before, we used to write all this manually and devise these worksheets, but now it's pretty simple for me. OPI is one personalized tutor. I will not say it's an AI because it was like a very old tool which I first used in my class. So there are a lot of basic concepts that can be taught through this OPI. It talks to the students like a person would talk, and it will slowly take the students through the main concepts. You can try it out, and this can be mostly helpful in PYP classrooms. When I used Skype to interact with teachers in other countries, I had an opportunity to speak to, okay, I get my warning over here in 10 minutes. Right, to an educator in Armenia. She was trying to talk to our students in her mother language, and we were trying to talk to her in English. And there was this AI Skype translator, which did a wonderful job of translating my language to the target language and her language to my language, both through chat and through voice, right? So I did not understand that this was AI back then. This was 3-4 years ago. But, this is one wonderful display of AI in action. Google Classroom has something called practice sets, which can be activated if you have signed up for the Google Educational Suite. So practice sets are very good because, it's very good in understanding the student behavior and provides wonderful insights. For instance, it would say the following student has taken so much time to answer this question, so maybe a special attention is needed there. It can automatically generate hints for the question you're submitting. It can automatically generate the choices for the question you're submitting, so it greatly reduces your time as a teacher. Teachers, kindly mute your microphones. Perplexity is one tool which is just like ChatGPT, but the thing is it's more student friendly because it breaks down the information in the best way possible. It adds images. It also adds a lot of follow-up questions. And it also produces the sources, right? Teachers, kindly mute your microphones. We could hear a little disturbance. Thank you. This Spy is another interesting tool because it talks to the students like a human would talk. And the conversation is also divided into different topics. Like you see, the students can use it to just have a normal conversation, to just vent or learn about something new or brainstorm ideas or maybe journal. So it's not just about some tool that is giving out content to build the knowledge, but it can also be customized, and it's an informal form of conversation the students can have, but also learn something new. So this can be also tried and seen if it fits your classroom. I love this tool, Chat PDF. As teachers, we look at a lot of research papers, right? And we don't have time to go through everything in a single sitting and understand what's happening, although there is an abstract. So there is this tool which can go through the entire research paper and give you the key points in that paper. So this is how I used it as an educator, but you can see how you can use this tool in your classroom for your students depending on the subject. This is History Hello, another tool where the children can talk to people from the past and get information about certain incidents, certain moments, certain inventions, be it in the field of history or science and technology. So this is just creating another human-centered environment for the children to get information. Again, it's generated by AI, so it has to be checked once. This is another tool called EduAid AI for educators specially. So it's like all in one place. You can generate learning objectives, unit plans, rubrics, or any other sudden classroom engagement activities just by putting a few keywords, giving the correct class that you want to generate it for, and it gives you the engagements or the plan that you're looking for. It's very advantageous because all that you need is in one place. This is where you can use, this is called as summarize.tech. So you can give a link of a video or upload a video, and this AI will kind of extract the text from the video and it will present it in the form of paragraphs. So there are schools, we always talk about digital divide. We always talk about technology not being accessible by people around the world. What if there is a school where the internet connection is not that good to play a video? In that case, we can use this tool to extract the information from the video, because the video is really good, but I really need it in the form of a transcript. AI can help you over there. Magic School is again like EduAid AI. It comes with a lot of power pack tools for educators, and it can quickly generate the content. I especially use it for report card comments because I definitely make one set of comment, the first draft, and then I feed it into that. I can put the strengths and challenges of my students in 2 different categories, and the AI creates a beautiful comment for the student. And of course, you can make changes here and there and add it to your report card. Knowledge AI, we have all done a lot of courses on tools like Coursera and a lot of online sites. So Knowledge AI basically helps you create a course for your students within minutes. You just need to feed the most.
You got it for the first?
Pardon?
What's your K there?
Ma'am, could you please mute your microphone? Thank you. So Knowledge AI helps you to create an entire structured course for your students, just like how you see self-paced courses online for educators and for other experts. And you can post it in your Google Classroom, or you can share it with your students. It automatically assigns quizzes and a lot of formative assessment elements to the course. This I liked very much because I just uploaded a PPT. It's called QueryPod, and it will add a lot of interactive engagements you can do as a part of your presentation, like icebreakers or formative assessments or a sudden quiz, in between to just check the pulse of the audience. So it's doing justice to some extent based on the content I feed, but of course a little bit of customization is definitely needed. As a design teacher, I have felt that students have always found it difficult a few students, they have the idea in their head, they can imagine beautifully, but to communicate it or to convey it, they've always struggled, right? So I loved Adobe Firefly because there you can put certain number of prompts and it will generate an image, a visual image that can bring your imagination to a visual form. Not exactly 100%, but to some extent, this can help learners communicate what they're trying to explore. And Pictory is one site where you can convert a bunch of text into a video within minutes. So you can kind of add your own pictures, add breaks between the lines and ensure that each line is a different scene. You can add images. So all this can be done within minutes. So if there is a child who can only learn through video-based material, this is a beautiful site you can use. I'm just going to quickly rush because we have only 2 minutes left. The UNICEF has developed an interesting policy on AI. They talk about the main points that need to be told to students when it comes to AI usage all over the world. They say that mainly women and children are the most vulnerable, in the community, that are mostly affected by a technology like AI, because we see a lot of fake news, morphed videos, a lot of such information going around, which truly affects, the community. So they have given us a 9 facts that need to be remembered before we try and implement AI in our community. So definitely keeping the child's development and well-being in the center, They have given these 9 facts. You can go through it whenever you find time. And when you're trying to devise a policy in your school for AI, definitely consider all this. This is a wonderful course on Code Studio, which you can use in your classroom. It's free. It's like a starting point where you can talk about AI, especially introducing AI to children. It has a lot of hands-on activities plus video tutorials. So please do use it in your classroom with your learners. It also talks about the training, the bias, the ethical consideration of AI as well. Now, I'm going to post a link in the chat window. So I have used this AI tool called Dome. So Dome is very, very useful to create web pages in minutes. And what you can do is, let's say I'm an educator and I've taken leave, right? And I want my children to do something useful during that time without wasting their time. Just a minute. So I can create a single page homework. Like, for example, I'm just going to post this to everybody, one in the meeting. So this is going to have everything that I discussed right now, all the PPTs, the presentations I use, the resources that I was talking about, everything is a part of this site. Now, what you can do is, there is a small video module over here. It's actually my recording. So you can, hello. This web page, harnessing the power of AI in education. So you can create a web page like this, put all the resources in one page, and also put a small video recording at the corner, and tell your students that today I'm going to be on holiday. So please go through this and do your work, right? This is a wonderful site. Even it can be used as a PD. It's going to be always there. I think each of us have like 5 pages that can be created for free. And after that, it needs to be upgraded. So that brings me to the end of the session. I hope I have covered most of the topics. Please, at your leisure, go through and explore all these tools and see if you can use all of these in your classrooms. I would love to take questions, but then I don't know if we have time for it. So I'm just going to move on to the Q&A part of the feed view. You can add your questions and comments on this site over here. I will get back to you. My contact information is on the